student development higher education alumni. And he started talking to me. He was this cool-ass guy, man, and he would play Santana while we were having counseling meetings, man. He'd be like, hold on, what do you want to listen to today? Let me put on some Santana. Hold on, wait. Be like, Easy, let's put on some Easy. And then be like, all right, now we can get started. You know, and I remember getting into the trio program, and so by this time, like, my hustle was fully active, right? Like, my hustle was at 100. And so I bugged them every 2 weeks. I'd be like, where's my application? Have you guys received my application? And the lady that was the friend, she'd be like, no, we haven't. And I remember one day I walked in, and Diana was by herself, and she came out. And she was like, hi, my name's Diana, and I told her my name is Lewis, and she's like, come on, sit down in my office. And I told her, and that's when we had the conversation about me being incarcerated, and I told her that I was afraid. Right? And I remember, man, like I remember my first day in school, sitting in English class and hearing the professor, and in my head said, why are you here? You didn't even go to this when it was free. And now you want to go? You didn't go to this when you have to, and now you're making the choice to go. And I remember, man, like, just quit. And I remember that happened to me, man, and I was afraid because it was English. And I remember my professor, man, like my English professor and Diana changed my life. My English professor, I gave her my first paragraph. She wrote red all over it, and she wrote, you write beautifully, come see me in office hours. Right? And she told me, you can write, and you can write. And then I met Diana, and she's like, you can make it, you could go to a graduate program. And then at that point, she told me, and when you go to a graduate program, you're going to write a thesis. And I was like, what's a thesis? And she's like, it's like a book. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm writing a paragraph. You don't want me to write a book? I was like, how am I going to work up to that? And she's like, you're going to do it, right? And all along, in all my education, man, like, and I had like this big, was it like a 4-year program of graduating Mount Sac in 4 years, and she chopped that up into 2 years, and she's like, you're getting out of here in 2 years. And I was like, yo, I'm not taking English and math at the same time. And she's like, yes, you are. And I was like, yo, I haven't been in school in 10 years. How am I going to get past this, right? Like, I tested into the bottom of everything, right? Like, we were doing math, and the only thing I recognized was weights and measures, right? Because that's what I dealt with on the street. That's it, right? And she was like, you're going to take statistics in the winter, in the 6th week. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you're going to take statistics and you're going to pass. And I remember her telling me, man, and I remember by this time I had already started acclimating myself to higher education, right? And so what I ended up having to do for me is I had to turn everything from the streets to higher education and learning what it was that I needed. Like, I needed to hustle. Right, I needed to go to office hours. I needed to find a tutor. I needed to find somebody to help me. And what ended up happening is I passed statistics, right, with an A in the winter. Right, I graduated, and I made it to English 1A, man, straight A's and B's. I took a C one time, but because I had Math 71, which is pre-college algebra, which is the most failed class in the community college district in California, and I was like, I'm just going to focus on this class. The second class, I'm gonna take a C. I don't care, right? I got a B in that one. Should have got a good C. But it was a good C. It was a good C, right? I transferred from there. I transferred to Cal State LA, and I got a bachelor's of rehabilitational services. And when I left Mount Sac, my track was I was going to work for the Department of Rehabilitation because I felt that maybe that's where I could get a job with felonies, right? But Diana was telling me, you need to work in community college. You need to work at community. I was like, dude, I ain't gonna get no job. I was like, this one over here, that's for sure. And she was like, no, you need to work at community college, right? And so I went to Cal State LA, man, and she had already taught me, man, you take as many classes as you can, you do the best, you work, you network. And for some reason, in my bachelor's, I was kind of asleep. I didn't network a lot. I graduated Cal State LA, man, and all along, man, my GPAs just kept getting higher and higher. I think I graduated Mount Sac with a 3.5 GPA. I graduated Cal State LA with a 3.6 GPA. When I went to ACES for the first time and I gave them my high school transcript, I didn't even have a GPA because of all the F's, right? And I went there, man, and I remember when I was applying for graduate school, man, all along this path, Diana and Mount Sac has supported me. Right? Like, I've been in her office, man, I do homework in her office, I prepped for my graduate interviews in her office, she helped me write my personal statement, man, she helped me, you know, so when I applied to Cal State Long Beach, right, student development and higher education, I'm gonna boast right now, right, because I'm 125 out of 215 applicants, right, that when I got the interview, she was like, you know what, if you don't get the position, if you don't get in the graduate program, you don't know how hard it is to get an interview for this program. And I was like, yeah, okay, right? Because I don't know, right? I don't know all of the analytics that hard, no, man. And she helped me prep me, she prepped me, man, and I got in, right? I got into SDHE, man, and so there at Long Beach, what ended up happening at Long Beach is I was walking along the path one day, and I ran into a friend of mine who was formerly incarcerated himself, and he told me about all the stuff that was going on in the state of California, right? He told me about underground scholars. He told me about Project Rebound. He told me, you know, the things that we were doing, man, and me and him decided that we would start a student organization, and we started the first formerly incarcerated student organization at Long Beach called Rising Scholars, right? We got together because we wanted to build a community and feel like Cal State LA. I lived in El Sereno. I could see Cal State LA from my house, right? I gangbanged, I used drugs, I lived in those hills, man. Like Cal State LA felt like home because it was the hood, right? Long Beach completely felt like I didn't belong, right? As I sat in classes and I heard, you know, my cohorts, they're like from UCs and out-of-state schools and, you know, all this bomb stuff. And I was like, man, I'm just some poor ghetto boy from the hood, right? They don't belong in a graduate program. And even there, my advisors have told me I do belong, right? Because the imposter syndrome is real, right? And the imposter syndrome for me comes with 3 pages of arrest records, right? And multiple Fs that let me know that my track in school, that I'm a failure, right? So I don't know what it is to succeed. I don't know what it is to do good, man. And I remember she sent me to her mentor, and her mentor sent me to the dean at Rio Hondo College, and I was telling him my story, and he goes, I have these 2 positions that are opening. He goes, I would like you to apply. And I told him, listen, man, I have felonies, right? I'm not going to get this job. And he's like, when you apply, I'll advocate for you and let them know that I want you to work here. He goes, your experience is valuable. And you know what, like, that made me feel good, right? That somebody felt the need to advocate for me to get a position at a community college, right? Because when I applied, I'm like, yo, I got 3 sheets of arrest records, and you gave me 1 sheet to write down all my arrests. What am I gonna do? I need more, right? And learning, right? Like, how do I turn it? Man, on my cover letter, it talks about me being incarcerated. I applied for jobs with that on my cover letter, just addressing it head on, man. And I remember one day, me and this man were talking, and I was like, yo, you know, have you heard about Project Rebound? Have you heard of Underground Scholars? And I was like, and he was like, no. And I was like, well, what does Project Rebound does this, and Underground Scholars does this, and what does that look like in the community college district, and why doesn't the community college have more programs for people that have been incarcerated, and what are we doing for real, you know, for students? I was like, we're here in Whittier, El Monte, Pico Rivera. I was like, you know how many people are incarcerated from these places? And he was like, okay, cool. He goes, how are we gonna identify them? And go talk to 3 people. And I was like, wait, so what's the answer? Right? And he goes, go talk to these people. As I started talking to these people, my Rio Hondo got behind me and got behind, you know, forming something for formerly incarcerated. You know, currently it's informal, right? So what we've developed is a network. One thing that I understood is when I got locked up, they taught me how to succeed, right? They told me, if you do this, you're gonna get boo-bopped. If you do this, you're gonna get boo-bopped. Boo-bopped is getting jumped, right? And he goes, and so I was like, okay, if you go to the wrong restroom, you're gonna get boo-bopped. If you use the wrong phone, you're gonna get boo-bopped. So you can use these phones, you can use these restrooms, you can use this, you can use that. They showed me, right? You use this office, you use this office, you use this is for this is for this, this is for that. And when we started doing it, it's like, all right, we need somebody in financial aid, we need somebody in admissions, we need somebody in EOPS, we need somebody. And so what I ended up doing is whenever a student comes on a campus, I take them to each of these offices and I show them how to succeed on campus. I show them what they need to succeed, man. And Rio Hondo has been behind me like 100. They're like, Joe, we're gonna do this. And I'm like, all right, let's do that. And they've taught me, man, because I'm not privy to higher education politics. But because I'm able to have great mentorship and great support, I'm able to learn and guide my way in higher education, man. Because I remember one time I was working at LA City and the assistant director was trying to throw me under the bus, and I said, hell no. Nah. Said it like that. I told him, hell no. Nah. You ain't gonna throw me under the bus right now. I was like, I asked and you said yes. I asked and you said yes. So this isn't just my fault. This is your fault too. And then she's like, you need to talk to the director then. Me and you in her office. And I was like, I called my mentor and she was like, maybe you should have just taken it to the chin. And I was like, nah, right? But then learning, right? That's not how you react, right? Learning. All right, the next time that she told me something, I was like, can you please send me that in an email? whatever my director gave me information, I was like, can you please email me? Okay, thank you. Is this what I got from the email? I learned, okay, this is the way this shit is done, right? Because if you're in the streets, you mess up, man, it's just gonna take you out. But learning, right? Learning, because this is not something that I'm privy to. Learning how to conduct myself, learning how to dress, right? Because when you tell me you gotta look nice, that's some 501s, some J's, and a white leather. And I look nice. Right? Fresh shaved head, I'm looking nice. But now, you know, I gotta wear suits, I gotta wear ties. Today, I was like, man, I'm not gonna wear the tie. Right? But like, I came here, right, with all dress clothes. And no casual clothes, and I'm like, man, I'm in the heat. Because I was afraid, right? Because I'm afraid, man. Like I've lived with killers, I've been shot at, man. People have tried to stab me, people have jumped me, man. And nothing is scarier to me than being a professional. Right? Nothing was scarier to me than that statistics. No, statistics class was nothing. Then math 71. Right? I was like, I'm going back in jail. But it's because higher education that I've made, right? Like she said, right? Tupac said she was gonna spark the brain that can change the world. And it's not the world as a whole, right? But it's the individual world, right? Each of us can change the world one person at a time. And it was when she sparked my brain that it changed the trajectory for my son and for my brother, right? My brother goes to Mount Sac because I went to Mount Sac. My son says when he graduates from high school, he's going to Mount Sac. Like, he doesn't say, like, I might go to Mount Sac or, like, I might go to school. No, he's like, I'm going to go to Mount Sac. Right? As a matter of fact, he's like, I'm going to school. Right? Because she changed my world and higher education changed the way that I saw. It changed my son's world. Right? It changed my brother's world. Right? When I was 15, my brother was going to be little, whatever I was called, in my neighborhood. And now he gets to explore and he gets to have his higher education experience with me to help him navigate it. Right? Thank you.
So thank you, Joe, for sharing and your academic journey. So we are out of time because we only have 5 more minutes left. But we wanted just to leave you with, obviously, the takeaway in terms of that document. Please review it. It really does have some good information on how you can go back to the campuses that you're from, the nonprofits that you're from, and implement some of these things. And again, we're not saying go and create the program. I mean, that would be great if you can. But we're just saying start that discussion, that dialogue. You know, bring it to your administrators and say, where do we send our students? One of the questions when he first met with the Dean of Counseling at Rio Hondo was he asked the Dean of Counseling, what are you all doing for your formerly incarcerated students? And their response was, we're not doing anything, but what do we need to be doing? And then that just snowballed into now a program. And thank you, VP of Student Services of Rio Hondo, for being here at our presentation. But I mean, I think these are the conversations and discussions that we all need to be having, especially as student affairs professionals. So I don't know, at this time we'd like to open it up to some questions, if you have any questions or anything that you would like to add.
Are you going to put your slide up so that, or your contact information, because I got to rush out, but I'd love to be able to ask questions.
Yes, we actually, we don't have our information up, but we...
Will it be uploaded to NASPA where we can download it?
Yeah, we can go ahead and upload it to NASPA. Yes, with our contact information for follow-ups. Yes, thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here. Any questions, comments, concerns?
It's a good, I've never seen something like this at NASPA, so thank you. It's a really good program.
Thank you. Yes?
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to thank you all for your passion and your commitment to it. And for your willingness to be vulnerable and share that experience, you know, that you each of you had individually, because that is what makes connection, right? That's what brings that humanity to peace with our students, and it really validates their traumas, whatever they may look like. But I just want to thank you, and I want to thank you for, as an administrator, embracing that. Woo! That's so important, man. That's why me and this man right here trying to be administrators ourselves, because you need to get in those positions where you can make and influence that change, right? And so thank you for your open-mindedness to that.
What I want to say is this: I don't care what your role is on campus. I happen to be vice president. Joe Lewis educated me and really made me understand, because you know, I'm very much about social justice and equity, but if you don't know something, you can't do anything about it.
Right.
So he's educated me. They have really helped me understand we're missing a segment of our students. It's an important segment. And so when you have the opportunity to do something about it, you turn over to the experts and let them help train you and educate you. My job is easy. I just try to find space, some money, some resources. They take care of business. And Joe Lewis is amazing on our campus.
Did you come talk to our administrator?
Yeah, I also just want to say thank you for bringing this conversation to a place like NASPA, because I think we're at a time in our country where media just pulls us into two different places, right? And we're so focused on these things that we're seeing on our Facebook and on the media and what we're seeing on the internet. And sometimes we forget to maybe not get pulled into that trend and maybe just focus on like, okay, what's happening on our campus that maybe we need to address? You know, what are we not focusing on, right? Is there some, am I following this agenda that everyone else is following? And I think this brings an important discussion to a place like NASPA, where I don't see these presentations a lot, but I know for myself growing up in South Central, this is something that's very real, you know, like it's very real, and we don't talk about it a lot. So it's really great to see this discussion happening like at a place like NASPA, where we're supposed to be kind of like the pillars of higher education. So it's really great to see this discussion. We hope to see you at the national conference, because this is something that needs to be a national discussion in our field.
Thank you. So I think this concludes our workshop. So thank you all for being here, and have enjoyed the rest of your